What if the worst thing that ever happened to you was actually the best? What if losing something meant saving your life? What if pain was just a disguise for protection? Sounds insane, right? But let me tell you a story that might completely change how you see failure, loss, and misfortune. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a powerful king. And by his side was a wise advisor, who was no ordinary counselor. He was a monk, a spiritual master. And he had one very strange belief. He said, whatever happens is for the best. No matter what. Even pain. Even tragedy. Of course, not everyone agreed with him. One day, the king was practicing swordplay in the courtyard. The monk stood nearby, watching calmly. Suddenly, the king slipped. His blade dropped, and sliced off his toe. Blood. Pain. Panic. The king cried out in rage. But his monk advisor? He just nodded and said, "This is good." The king was furious. "Good?" he roared. "I'm permanently disfigured. What could possibly be good about this?" In his anger, the king ordered the monk to be thrown into prison. Even as guards dragged him away, the monk didn't resist. He smiled. And once again said, "Whatever happens is for the best." The king thought, this man has lost his mind. But the monk was at peace. 2 months passed, and something unexpected happened. The king went on a hunting trip with his soldiers. They rode deep into the forest chasing a deer. But as the king rushed ahead, he got separated from his guards. Alone. Lost. Wandering in an unfamiliar jungle. Then, it got worse. A group of tribal warriors emerged from the shadows. They captured him. They didn't know he was the king. To them, he was just the perfect sacrifice. The tribe celebrated, drums beating, fires blazing. They bathed the king, dressed him in ceremonial robes, and prepared him for the ritual. But just before the sacrifice, the tribal chief inspected him. He looked closely. Then frowned. He pointed at the king's foot. "This man is not whole," he said. "One of his toes is missing." The ceremony stopped. In their tradition, sacrifices had to be perfect, whole, untouched. A flawed offering would anger the gods. So, they let him go. The king returned to his palace in disbelief. His missing toe had saved his life. Suddenly, the monk's words made sense. He ordered the guards to release the monk and restore his position. Face to face, the king asked, "Now I understand why my injury was good. But you were locked up for 2 months. Why do you still believe that was good?" The monk smiled. "Because, my king," he said, "if I hadn't been in prison, I would have been with you on that hunt. And I have all my toes." It hit the king like thunder. The injury he hated had saved his life. The punishment he gave had saved the monk's life. So, was it truly bad? Or just misunderstood? Maybe life is not happening to us. Maybe it's happening for us. In Buddhism, it's said that suffering can be karma being released. That pain might be a payment, clearing your spiritual debt. You lose a job, but find your purpose. You're betrayed, but it leads you to your real tribe. It's not about blindly saying everything's good. It's about having the wisdom to say, "I don't see the full picture yet." We judge too quickly. We label things as good or bad, success or failure, blessing or curse. But what if your greatest pain is just part of your greatest protection? So next time life breaks you, pause, breathe, and ask, what if this is a gift in disguise? Have you ever had a moment like that, where something seemed awful, but later turned out to be a blessing? Share your story in the comments. You never know who might need to hear it today. If this video gave you a new perspective, give it a like, share it with someone going through a tough time, and don't forget to subscribe. Because more stories like this are coming your way. See you in the next one.